Hey everybody, this is Matt Shu from Upright Health, and today I'm going to share an exercise with you that I have found to be very useful for kicking in the hamstrings. For years I've actually been looking for ways to wake up my own hamstrings to help me make more dynamic movements for sports, like being able to plant and stop and then turn, for just being able to decelerate properly while running, and being able to stabilize my body, to be able to pivot while doing things at the ice rink, like my triple sound cows. And what I found was doing things like Romanian deadlifts, single leg deadlifts, hamstring curls, sitting or prone. All these things, they would work my hamstrings, but the challenge that those exercises were providing were not really carrying over to athletic endeavors. And for a while I was thinking that there had to be another way to wake up the hamstrings in a way that was more functional, that would actually help me do the things that I wanted to do. It took me forever to figure out that there are different ways of getting the hamstrings to work, and I'm going to share this exercise with you. It involves some bands or even cables at the gym, and it's kind of fun. So here it is. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a band or a cable. If you have like pull-up assist cables, you could set something up like this in your doorway. You just anchor your band through a doorway. You're going to take the resistance band and you're going to step back and away from the anchor point. I want to note that you could also have it higher or lower, just depending on where you feel like this exercise, where the anchor point most helps kick in your hamstrings. But what you're going to do is you're going to have your hands on the band. You're going to step back so that the band is pulling you forward. Okay? You've got 1 foot back and 1 foot forward, so that the hamstrings on the front leg are responsible for helping decelerate this pull that the band is exerting on you. So if I were just to totally relax, this band is pulling me forward and off balance, and I fall. So I'm not going to let that happen. I'm just going to keep this back foot back here. I'm going to keep the front leg relatively straight, but not necessarily totally straight. If I totally lock it out, I actually get a lot of stress at the knee joint. If I have a slight bend, I can feel a bunch of tension building into the hamstrings. So by getting pulled here, I can start feeling it deep into the high hamstrings, feeling those muscles work eccentrically. Meaning those muscles are, the hamstrings are basically being forced to lengthen and work while being lengthened. So I get into that position, I'm slowly controlling that pull, and then I pull myself back out of it, again, using the hamstrings on this front leg. So here I go again. This will be rep number 2. I'm getting pulled forward, slowly controlling that with the hamstrings, and then pulling myself back. Okay? This is a super effective exercise to get the eccentric control of your hamstrings. It is a doozy and will probably make your hamstrings hurt. For a very long time, I had a lot of trouble with the high hamstrings, and this exercise actually hit it way more directly than actually anything I've ever experienced. So I'm going to show you, this version is the version I usually do at home. I just set it low, I actually attach it to a couch leg, and then I just go right down here. So what's nice here is this more closely approximates what I need in hockey, as I need to be able to reach for stuff without falling down. That means I need to be able to decelerate this forward fall using my hamstrings. So now I've got that extra force pulling me down. I'm going to go slowly down towards that point, keeping my pelvis square this way and keeping the tension in the hamstrings. Okay, so up and down, nice and slow like that. So I've been calling this like a warrior, it's like a warrior split stance. It's like a warrior warrior one with a band, right? So you're doing a little split stance, and it's like warrior one in yoga. You can also play with the bend in the knee. If you bend it a little more, you might feel like your hamstrings don't like it very much, that they're kind of incompetent. If that's the case, good. You have exposed their incompetence, and you're going to force them to do their jobs correctly. Then there's warrior two, which is the exact same thing, except now we've got the back foot out pointing like this. You can also have it more out to more like a wider stance. So you could have it here or here or here, just playing with the foot position to see how you can get the hamstring firing on that front leg better. So again, I'm getting pulled forward. This way I've got my hips square. If I go to more of the warrior two, I'm going to get a very different sensation and different activation level. And I actually move back out a little bit. So now I can feel that, for me, it's the medial hamstrings. I get a lot more work in this position. And then I come back out of it again using those hamstrings. So if you're adventurous, if you have some issues that you've been dealing with your hips, especially if somebody has scared you with the diagnosis of FAI and hip impingement, then I strongly suggest you start playing around with things like this to start kicking in function of the muscles of your backside. See how it feels. Remember to keep the spine straight the whole time and make sure you feel the correct muscles working. If you're not using the right muscles, you're wasting your time and probably hurting yourself. So I hope that helps. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section. I do try to answer questions whenever possible. But I do get flooded with messages, so please don't be offended if it takes me a while to get back to you. In the meantime, please remember that pain sucks. Life shouldn't.